Follow your passion or pay the bills? Most of us find ourselves at the crossroads of these two questions as faith-focused creators, entrepreneurs, and artists. We know that we are supposed to follow our God-given mission in life, but then we also have to take care of our financial obligations, and many people struggle with what to prioritize. Do I go after the money or do I go after my mission? Well, we're going to help you answer that age-old question on this episode of the God and Gig Show. Give me just a moment to welcome those of you who are new to our show, and then we'll get right into this fascinating and important conversation. Hello and welcome to our show. Thank you so much for making this podcast a part of your creative day. And if you're new to our show, thank you for joining us. Let me tell you why you're in the right place. As a faith-focused artist, musician, creative, anyone at the intersection of arts, ministry, entertainment, but with a heart to do so with excellence, you want to thrive in every area of your creative life without sacrificing your faith. That's what we help you do here. So please follow, subscribe, stay connected with us because we are here to help you become the creative that you were created to be. And one of those things that all of us have to deal with is figuring out where to put our time and our focus on our mission, which is what we're called to, or on the money, which is what helps us do what we're called to. Now, I wanted to get into this, so we shared this in our Creative Checkup live stream. We do this every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'd love for you to join us there on YouTube, LinkedIn, and other streaming platforms. But I wanted to take out this section called our vital signs, where we talk about things that really hit the heart of being a creative and talk about mission versus money. Which one should you be focusing on? And I think you'll be interested in how we figure this out. It's not black and white, simple as it seems. It's something that can help you to really answer this question throughout your creative life in whatever stage you're at, beginning, middle, experienced. We're going to help you make sure that you never put your attention on the wrong thing as you pursue what God has put in your creative heart. Well, let's get right into this discussion from our Creative Checkup live stream on mission versus money. What should you be chasing? That's our question for today and our vital signs. Should you be chasing money or chasing mission? Now, even as I share that, I would love for you to put in the comments, which one do you think is more important? Is this a trick question? Kind of. It's kind of a trick question because I know as soon as I say that, some of you will say what I know the phrase is, the cliche. It's also true that money makes a mission possible. I heard that from our friend Shane Sams, one of our amazing gurus and teachers that actually helped us build God and Gigs 360 because of his discussions, his flips lifestyle blueprint. He helped us get our stuff together, and that's one of his mantras. Money makes the mission possible. But I'm talking about whether or not you should be chasing one or the other first. Which one should you be chasing first? So I'm going to look in the comments even as we discuss, because I really want to know whether you believe money is the first thing you should be looking for as a creative or mission. So first, I don't think I need to define money, but I do need to define mission. As you just saw in our last discussion, we've been talking a lot about purpose. We've been talking about the creator's purpose. We did an episode with Josefa Benjamin, who is the Born on Purpose CEO and founder. We talked about how purpose is what God has put you here to do, right? So you might ask, okay, well, what's the difference between purpose and mission? Well, this is the way I would define it. Purpose is what you're put on earth to do. Mission is who you're on earth to do it for. Okay? Mission for me always involves people. You can think of missionaries, right? The word meaning to be sent. They weren't just sent to like a random place where there were no people. Anytime there was a mission, there were people involved. They were sent to a person. They were sent to a group. A military mission is to achieve a certain objective, a certain thing, But the whole point of the mission is to help or create something for people, right? To do something or to be able to have something be better for them, right? It's not in a vacuum. So, a mission for me is a person or a group of people we are sent to affect something I'm doing for someone. Am I clear so far? So, I want to know in this case, do you need to chase money first as a creative? Now, we just did an entire month in our creators community in our God and Gigs 360 app. We did an entire month in our best year ever because we're talking about our best year ever. That's our framework for the entire year. We did a framework on monetization. We had Christian Brim come in to talk about profiting from your passion. So there is clearly a need for money in our creative lives. This is the part that I want to make sure I'm clear about. However, there's something about mission that then clarifies why we're chasing or looking for profit or money or for income. Because as the Bible says, if you gain all these things and lose your soul, what does it profit you? If you have a ton of money and have no mission, what is the point? And again, I hear people in the back saying, you have to have money. Too many people are chasing their passion. They don't actually have a business. They're not really creating any kind of value. I get it. But I think it's so important that if you don't know what the mission is, you won't have a real goal for the money, even if you get it. If you create a service, and this is something I'm being super transparent about as I'm sharing, I am trying to build more income in my business. Yes, I am not simply relying on my performance income as a musician, my gig income to support my podcast. That has been the case for many years. I did not try to build the income levers of God and Gigs and Paul Creative Solutions. I was like, I'm just going to work and this will be the passion project and then I'll support it with my music. But that's robbing from Peter to pay Paul. So there was a need for me to reform my mindset in terms of business so that money was an object. But my mission never changed. My mission to help creators, musicians, artists to transform their creative lives from the inside out by applying timeless spiritual principles to temporary creative problems, that gives me a reason for the money. So now if I chase the mission, I have a place for the money to go. If I have a mission, I know why I'm trying to fund the mission with the money. So I believe, and I'm going to make my stance and I'm going to stand on it, that mission has to go first. You must chase your mission or at least define it so that you know where the money will go. And then maybe you earn the money in a totally different way. I am a hybrid creative. I have a full-time job as a creative. I also work on my own as a creative. So I am a hybrid. I get much of my income from a standard 9-to-5 style lifestyle, but I also gain some of it from my freelance lifestyle. So wherever I go, whichever way I do this, I am still funding my mission, which is to help creators, artists, and freelancers, again, to transform their lives from the inside out by applying timeless spiritual principles to temporary creative problems and to help them thrive in life and business. That mission hasn't changed. You, as you're listening and watching this, are part of my mission. For me to help you and for you to help yourself in your own mission, we need money. So the monetization focus that we did, why you need to go check out that workshop with Christian Brim, why you need to join us at godandgigs.com/resources and be able to get access to that. Or you can even join Pamela and 360 Gold, which would be even more awesome. So you can join us over there. Okay, let me get that link up real quick. I just want to make sure you guys can see it. Let's just do the whole link. Membership is the way you get to either one of those. Okay, godandgigs.com/membership. So you can check out God and Gigs 360 Gold, which is our live coaching, or the resources, what I like to call now the Christian Creatives Companion. That will be for the recorded information. Okay, so live information is Gold, Companion, Christian Creative Companion. That's going to be our recorded. Does that make sense? So either way, guys, whichever one you choose, I want you to be very clear about chasing your mission first, defining your mission, and then defining how will I fund that mission with the money I need to earn. It's a great way for us to finish off the month of April. Now, in the month of May, our focus will turn to time management and systems. How do I now form my life in a way that I can now create a very, very structured and strong way of my disciplines, of my attitude, of my way of approaching my business as a creative, the way God would have me do it, so that I can then have good vision, I can have clarity, I can continue to create my community, which was March. I'm going right through the months. So spiritual clarity was January, then vision was February, then community was on March, and then monetization was April. And as you can see, we're just walking through what makes you have your best creative year ever as a faith-focused creative. So, mission first, then the money funds the mission. Well, my friend, I hope that blessed you and helped you to understand that there isn't this disconnect between your mission, who you're called to, and the money, which is the way and the fuel that you get the thing that you need to get done to bless those people. And if you are interested in continuing to connect with people who can help you think like this, make sure to check us out in our app, God and Gigs 360. We also have our Creative Resource Center, also known as our Christian Creative Companion. That is where you can get recordings of all of our workshops for over 2 years from some of the biggest and most brilliant established creative experts who can help you solve the problems that you're facing in your creative life, from finances to spiritual questions, anything you need to become a more well-rounded, confident creative who's able to pursue that mission. You can find it and go to the link in our show notes. godandgigs.com/membership is where you can find all that. Well, my friend, until next time, continue to become the creative that you were created to be. God bless, and I'll see you next episode.